Stampin' Buddies, it's Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting, and I am really late night Lori tonight. So, I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States coming to you at about 11:45 on Thursday, June 5th. I am sorry I am so late. Let me get my other device up so I can see if anybody actually is hopping on this late with me or whatever time it is where you're watching from. I got a delivery today of some things that I had ordered. One of them was my Extraordinary Flora bundle. So this is a new stamp set and a die. So there's a few sentiments on here, but the stamp set with all of these floral items is all on one piece. Now you could certainly cut them apart, which I've done, little surgery on my stamps. This one I'm going to leave intact for now because there's a purpose for this. Aside from having a die that will cut those out all at once, which is pretty slick, there's also washi tape that is like 3 inches wide, and it's a long strip, so it's just like a roll of washi tape. And I thought that was coming in my bundle, but as I looked on my order and I looked online, I only ordered the bundle that has the stamp set and the dies. I didn't order the washi tape. And of course, it's a really cool new product, so the washi tape is already not available. So I put in a little notify me request in my online store, so I will get notified when it's back in stock, and you can bet I'm going to be ordering it then. So the cool thing about the washi tape is that it comes in like 2 shades, and as you roll it up, a set of the images on the washi tape will be cut out by the die in 1 shade or color palette. Excuse me. And then as you go to the next section, hi Fifi, hi Colleen. Colleen, you can catch the replay. I'm flying by the seat of my pants, so we'll see what happens. So anyway, the die will cut out the images on the washi tape as well. So the one color palette is, I don't know, like reds. And then the second one I think is more of the purple hues. I don't remember, but when I get it, I'll show it to you. So this is what I'm going to play with tonight. And I'm going to show you something a little different in that I am going to use the die as a mask. And I'm going to do some blending brush work here. So let's start with, I think, a little bit of basic beige. And sorry I'm so late tonight. And I need to find my scrap. We'll just get another one here. There's always scrap paper around. Yeah, Fifi, that notify me, I put it in for the 1 7/8 circle punch. I think it's a newer one, 1 7/8. I think that's the right measurement. I got notified, I ordered it right away, so that one should be on the way. So, as you can see, I am using my die as a mask. And I have it so that the cutting side is down on my paper because I want the die to cut out what I'm blending, basically. So let's do a little bit of Berry Burst. And what I did is the card base that I'm going to use, that I kind of have in mind, is my Lemon Lime Twist. So I pulled out my Lemon Lime Twist and looked for a couple of colors. So I figured basic beige goes with everything, and it's got kind of a greenish hue to it. And then Berry Burst is one of the ones on here, so we're going to add a little bit of Berry Burst. And if I go over a little bit, I don't really care. If I've got some darker areas and some lighter areas, all the better. Okay, so that's probably enough Berry Burst. also have some fresh freesia that's not on here, but I thought it would look pretty good. Oh, the boho vibes. Yeah, I saw that and I'm not sure if I'm really sold on that one. I'm not. The boho stuff is not really my style so much, but that's been pretty popular is my understanding. So then I'm going to put a little bit of this fresh freesia in here and try not to move this too much. If it moves a little bit, it's not that big a deal. And then we'll use some Azure Afternoon. Seems like it might be a strange color combination, but we'll just see how it looks. It's an experimentation here with color and images. So we'll just see how this works out. Oh, I didn't really mean to do that on my white cardstock, but that's all right. That'll be fine. Yeah, the sweet sale. Yeah, I'm glad your customers were able to take advantage of that. All right, and this is some strawberry slush. So I've got Basic Beige, Berry Burst, Fresh Freesia, the Azure Afternoon, and my strawberry slush. So let's just see how this looks. It almost looks like it could be popsicles or something. And I also had lemon lime twist out here, or no, lemon lolly. Maybe I'll put a little bit of lemon lolly on top of that basic beige. We'll add a little bit more yellow to that. Straighten this out a little bit. And you probably can't see a whole lot of difference there, but I can see it brightened up that basic beige just a little bit, kind of around the edges here. All right, so this, I'm just gonna wipe off with my chamois. If I had some wet wipes over here, that would work too. Now this looks kind of hideous, don't you think? It doesn't really look like much, but I think we're gonna change that. So I'm just gonna set that off to the side. I'll probably put it over here on my magnet so I know where it is. All right, let's get some of this stuff out of the way. I don't need that anymore. I don't need this anymore. What I'm going to do now is, with this stamp set, I am going to actually leave the stamps on the piece of acetate. Now, I could put it on my big F block. I could use a Stamparatus or another positioning tool, but I thought I would give this a whirl. And when I practiced with it, it actually worked out pretty good. It might have been beginner's luck, but you never know. With some of my background stamps, I've done it where I've left the stamp in the case and done this, so I thought, let's just give this a whirl. And I think I need to re-ink my Memento because it's taken me a little bit of pressure to get some of the ink on there. So then what I'm going to do is just lay this on top of my paper. And it doesn't have to be exact because it can be kind of abstract-ish. Like these are a little bit off from the die, but it's not going to matter. All right. So look at that. Isn't that kind of fun? Now, with the washi tape, I've kind of created the effect that the washi tape will have. And the washi tape, if you've not seen it, it looks absolutely gorgeous. But now what I'm going to do is take my chamois and clean that off so that I don't forget. And I might use one of those sentiments, but for now, we'll just get this covered up. And we're going to go ahead and cut these out. So let's put this on here. I'm going to bring out my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now, of course, we have to use the big one because it's too wide for the little one. And I'll pull out my base and my shim, cutting plate, and I'm going to put this on here. And I can actually use the shadows or the void space to line this up. Or actually, I'm going to line it up more, I think, with where I inked, because that's going to look better. And I'm just going to use a little bit of my old Stampin' Up! Washi tape. And we're going to cut these little gems out. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, I thought using the die would be kind of cool. When I went to the Midwest demonstrator event in Hobart, the first part of May, one of the gals was demonstrating using the frames. I don't remember which one it was. It was one of the new dies. She used the frames. They're kind of ornate. And she used it as a mask as well. And I thought, well, that's kind of a cool idea. So let's go ahead and run this through. And look at that. So we've got a couple that were stuck in here from my tape. All right, put that back over there. And look at those. I mean, there's a little bit of white on there that I think actually makes it look kind of cool. So because I've not seen the washi tapes, you know, close up, I don't remember if there's any kind of white border on there or not. All right, and then I'm going to get rid of this. And I am going to bring in my number 4 plate, because I am going to take my base of my lemon lime twist and I'm going to emboss part of it. We'll see. I was looking at this line, but actually I want to look at this line because I want to have like 1.25 inches or so off to the side. And we'll kind of have this line here line up with the edge of the card. Kind of. So let's go ahead and feed this through. And hopefully this will work out all right. We'll see. Oh, that was way further off than I wanted it to be. Probably because I didn't have my my plate over far enough. That's all right. I have another piece of lemon lime twist somewhere. Maybe I put it away. We'll try this again. Let me score this one. Let's try it again, because I want that deeper in my card. Now I could go like this and try to fold it over if I was doing the whole card, but since I'm not, get a couple lines lined up. Yeah, well, I was shooting for here, but the problem was, even though I had the embossing folder all the way over, because I can see I had the embossing folder over to here where I wanted it, my plate was too far back so that I didn't have pressure on this part. So I can use that for something else. But we'll try this again. And hopefully I'll get the design to come more this way. So what I need to do is not have my embossing folder hanging off the end of my plate, because that's what happened. So, 'cause that's what happened. Yeah, I could try to emboss over it, Fifi, but I would mess it up and it would probably look really stupid. So this worked. I just had it so that what happened was I had my embossing folder like this. And then this plate I had lined up so there was no pressure on this part. So the second one worked out all right. So let's go ahead and put those away. Get this out of our way. And let's go ahead and burnish this. And move some of these other things out of the way. And then I'm just going to take some of these, and I wanted to just kind of randomly put them on here and see how it looked. I think that's kind of fun. Now the other thing I thought about doing, if I can get these picked up, the other thing I thought about doing was punching a hole in the front of here and then having like a peek through. But then I'd have to come up with something to put in that void spot. So I think what I'm going to do is just put a circle on here for our sentiment. And then we can put maybe some of these around the sentiment. I certainly don't need to use all of them, but I wanted a variety of colors. And I kind of like how that looks. It's kind of fun, whimsical-ish. So let's maybe put that there too. And then that one's actually kind of big. Let's see. Well, you know, let's take a look at the sentiments if I can find my stamp set here. Here we go. So we've got, with love, congratulations, and for the extraordinary couple. So that doesn't really work. So let me find a different one, a different sentiments. Let's just pull in, I don't know. How about something here? You made my whole day with a whole bunch of flowers. Let's try that one. You made my whole day. If I can get it pulled off of here. And I have a bunch of small white pieces here. Yeah, I do love the font of this one. It's, well, I like the mixed fonts. So you've got some block letters and then some script, and I think that's kind of fun. Let's save those. We'll scooch this over a little bit and put this on a block. I'm going to use a little bit of Versamark because I've not used that stamp yet. And let's use Azure Afternoon. Yeah, the greetings too are pretty versatile. All right, so I'm looking through that. That's looking pretty good. I need to get that up high enough so that the Y doesn't get cut off. And then we'll trim that down with my little guillotine. Line that up there. And this, I think, can go up on dimensionals. So this will go somewhere like here. And let's get rid of my debris. I'm going to be having a craft a latte It'll kind of be like a coffee and a card class, and I put that there to remind myself what I wanted to call it. And then I think we'll put a couple of these maybe on the back of, whoop, maybe on the back of my sentiment to just kind of dress that up a little bit. Or maybe on the front. We'll see. I'll get those all attached. And then I have some of this twine, the Baker's Twine 3-color pack. I don't know if this is even still current, but I could certainly make a cute little bow with that. Let's trim that off and see how that looks. That's probably, the tails are probably too long, but I can trim those off when I'm done. I could always just wrap it up too, and see, I could put that like it's holding the stem. It doesn't stick to my dry fingers. So that could work. Or we could probably just make some loopy things to go behind there. That might look better, actually. What do you think? Loopy things or a bow? Something like that. And then, of course, you've got to get some gems on there. Let's see what we've got. We could do some of these ivory pearls with, let me go get, you can tell I'm flying by the seat of my pants when I didn't have all this stuff out there. Loopy, yeah, I think the loopy looks better. All right, so let's just add a little bit of lemon lime twist tint to these. And set those on here. We'll put maybe one down here. And a couple up here. Whoops. Part of that glue dot came off the back of there. So something like that. There, I think that would look all right. So there, when I get the washi tape, I'll have to come back and kind of recreate this and see how it looks. Whew! So that's it for tonight. So I got done in, what, a little over 20 minutes-ish, maybe? 25, yeah, something like that. So thanks for stopping in and joining me. It's late here. I know it's not too awful late for you folks, but it's a little after midnight now for me. So I'm calling it a day. And thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Of course, if you like and share my video, I'd love the boost. All right. So thanks again for popping in. Until next time, happy crafting.